wale wanasema kwamba kura isipojaa tutajaza. Pengine unajua sasa ukiuliza, unajua wanasiasa ni wajanja. Ukiuliza utajaza namna gani, atakwambia tuta campaign kwa hali ya juu sana. Sikia wale wanasema choma na taya, alafu wanasema yani weka taya ndio gari isonge. Kuna interpretations mingi ya mambo kama haya. Lakini nataka kuhakikishia hivi, hakuna njia nyingine mtu yeyote atashinda kura kwa Kenya. Ni njia moja pekee yake, kuomba kura na kura ipigwe na ihesabiwe. Kama haingefanywa hivyo 2022 tungekuwa ofisi, kwa sababu hatukuwa kwa serikali. So hakuna ile vitisho ya kusema kwamba tutatisha mtu yoyote kwamba hautapata. Kila mtu aombe kura yake na aombe kwa njia inayofaa. Kenya ni nchi yetu ya demokrasia. Tumewahi kuona kura nyingi na hakuna mtu anapotea kwa Kenya hata kama hajashinda kura. Tumewahi kuona wenye walishindwa jana ndio wako serikali kuliko wenye walishinda jana. Tumeona wale walishinda jana ndio wanapiga kelele huko nje, wanalia kwamba kwa nini wale tulipigana nao ndio wako sasa serikali zaidi. So hii nchi ni very nice. Hata wale wanatoka nje huko wanafika Kenya wanashangaa hii ni nchi gani hii tofauti namna hii. Ule mtu alikuwa anasema yeye ndio nilikuwa naangalia video nyingine hapo, ule mwenye alikuwa anasema jana, kazi yangu kwa hii serikali ni kunabeba kitabu nikipima mtu alikuwa wapi, la unaona shares yake kama ni kama sasa yeye hata hana shares. Unajua na ule alikuwa anapimiwa sasa hako ndani. So kuna haja ya kupigana kwa sababu ya kura. Hii ni nchi ambayo iko na nafasi nyingi sana, hata ukianguka sometimes hata kuanguka ni afadhali kuliko kushinda. Watu wa relax. Kwa mambo ya security officers, security officers. Yes, all security officers are involved themselves in criminal activity will not be treated as security officers. They are treated as criminals, you know. So it doesn't matter the position they hold. Even today, you are a cabinet secretary and you are found in impropriety, you will not be treated as a cabinet secretary, you are treated as a suspect. So in the same way, security officers, we have to deal with them under the law. Some are suspended, some are sacked, depending on the public service regulations, and then charged in court of law, and if they are found guilty, they are completely sacked. So that process goes on. We've done those for chiefs. We've removed chiefs. We've removed police officers in different situations. 60% of Kasarani, yes, that's true. We have been given a last warning. If we don't get 60% of Kasarani, we will find ourselves in trouble. I want to confirm that really the problem we had in Kasarani on Sunday, and I was there, I could see the problem coming. There were people over 100,000, I can tell you for sure. You know, maybe 70,000, 80,000 around there. I drove through the big crowd, and thousands and thousands of people were filling Thika Road. And I didn't see it as a problem properly. I saw it as a real hunger for proper sports. The amount, the level of the love that the people of Kenya have for football, and the desire they have always wanted their country to do well is amazing. In fact, this is credit to His Excellency the President for supporting this process, investing in this. Remember, I served as a sports minister before, so I know the amount of resources we put. You know, I saw some people saying, "Oh, where does the president get the money to reward the footballers?" Do you know that we paid Chan 1.5 billion just to host? 1.5 billion, and I know because I was part and parcel of the process to just host, and we'll pay even more billions to host the 2027. But do you know the returns we get? Do you know the marketing Kenya achieved alone? Free marketing for beating Morocco, who are semi-finalists in World Cup. So the investment you put in sports, do you know the value that comes with those players that were playing football? Do you know that tomorrow, if Odhiambo or our wonderful goalkeeper was to be signed to a Premier League or any club in Europe, the amount of money is going to earn, the return in investment that will come to our country. So this small, it's big of course, the 1 million, 2 million that the president is giving. If you calculate the ripple effect in terms of investment, and what has been lacking in Kenya before is the right motivation to get, we need to get enough players to export them. And anyway, I've digressed, but the point is this: we take Sunday very serious. And so I want to request Kenyans, not for anything else, for the sake of our youth, for the sake of our sports people, let's not ruin the chance for us to play our matches for Chan here, but also not ruin our chance to host the Africa Cup of Nations in 2027. Because depending on how we comply with the penalties for this Sunday, it will signify what kind of a host we will be in 2027. And remember, we're investing in massive infrastructure, including Talanta Stadium, only to reach a stage where we are unable to host. So we are in tomorrow we have a very serious meeting in Nairobi to put in place measures to ensure that those measures, those 60% occupancy is going to be achieved. I am confident that the people of Kenya will comply for the sake of their players and for the sake of our country. The key people, the key person in terms of security of any country, and of this country, the center of excellence for security service provision is the police station. So the officer commanding station is a very, very important part, especially for a county like this, that basically we are not discussing about operations to deal with bandits or Al-Shabaab or so forth. Here, because the police station is at the heart of leadership in the police service. And so what Jukwaa la Usalama provisions, conversation has been about is defining a reasonable period of time that allows the security officer to serve, but not too long for them to become familiar with their territory, with that environment, and breeding familiarity. They must face the challenges, maybe 3 to 5 years. Many people are saying 3 years is good enough to be an OCS in one station, then another person can come in. But also from the same conversation is that there are people who are having to serve 10 years in security-prone areas, operation areas, say in Samburu, in Turkana, in some parts of the Marakwet, Baringo, you go to Tana River, this time, all those places. And since I've gone through those parts, they are saying that it's unfair. It is even, demoralizing to force police officers to serve in a security area, in a security operation area for far too long. So we have to balance the quick transfer and the desire to have service, but also the morale of the officers that are serving in that place. So what are we going to do? What is the policy direction we are being suggested through Jukwaa la Usalama? Number one, when I was in the upper eastern areas and the coast places like Tana River and Lamu, most of the proposals from the police officer were that a police officer should not serve more than 5 years, just as a police officer in an operation area. It has a problem of mental health and so forth. So we are going to define the period of time in principle where a police officer can serve in an operation area. Number two, there is also a provision, a proposal that one should not serve in one police station for too long, even if it's not an operation area. So even if you are moving person from an operation area to another area, it should not be more than 3 years. You saw today here in Nakuru, one of the OCSs proposing that there has been this practice of transferring OCSs, but a police constable and corporal and sergeant in the police station has been serving there for 6-7 years. So any person who comes in is sabotaged by the people who have served for the last 5 years. So we want to make sure that that rotation is happening, continuously, not to allow stagnation. And then the other issue related to transfer is that some officers are saying that transfers also must consider family responsibilities. so that if I'm a young officer and I already established myself with my family in Nakuru, and so I should have the stability, if I know in principle that in 3 years I will move, okay, then I will plan with that in mind, knowing that my children have to go to the right school. But also, if I make a request that my child is in examination year, give me 1 more year, or transfer me in the neighborhood so that I can make sure that they complete the studies. We want to have that humane face in terms of matters of transfer. So I used your question to cover the overall response. So the problem in Nakuru at the moment, based on our conversation today, is that there are so many police officers that have remained in one station for far too long. Number 2, there are transfers that are punishment in nature. And therefore, you get a police officer who is drunk, you send them to Taita police station in Kuresoi South. Then you get another one, you send to Taita again, because maybe there is no road access there. You get another one, you send to Taita police station. What happens is that you have 10 police officers, but there are only 2 police officers that are serviceable, that can serve. Instead of sending that police officer to rehabilitation, you send them to punish the residents of a particular area. Many people have said that they don't want that. The last thing that has come out from Jukwa, and I'm summarizing for you all over, is that on matters of transfer, police officers and also Ngao officers, the National Government Administration officers, are really unhappy with transfers that are instigated by political leaders for political reason, because somebody realized that they do not get political support from the police officer and the Ngao officer. They are unhappy with those kind of transfers, or transfers that are instigated by business people. There is an ACC today who told us that she was serving in a neighboring county, and she heard about a transfer from a brewer. So the brewer told the ACC, don't worry, you have been a problem to me, but you are leaving anytime soon. So it is also incumbent, and that's a feedback we are getting from our officers, that as government officials in high offices, we must not allow ourselves to fall into the temptation of pleasing politicians or pleasing business people and punishing officers. It demoralizes them in terms of service delivery. Thank you. Thank you, Mumbi.